It's a lovely good evening today, the 26th of September 2021, and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news tonight. UPND calls for the arrest of the PF VEEP. President Hakainde Hichilema disappoints Civil Service Commission Acting Chairperson BEATRICE YEVUKA. The women's movement calls for the constitutional refinement in favor of a gender agenda. In international news, Nigeria children face mental health crisis. And in sports news, Ethiopians shine at Berlin Marathon as Bekele falls short of target.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money for MTN 096 296 5883, for Airtel 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325, Stanbic Bank, Kablonga branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via World Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
And now the news in detail. Some Lusaka residents have insisted that they would not get vaccinated against COVID-19 because they believe the pandemic is here to fulfill the scripture. Joseph Lubasi has told Camnet News in an interview that he would rather die from the pandemic than get vaccinated because what is happening according to the scripture, and only God can save him. Another Lusaka resident, Hope Dobson, says she is of the view that vaccines are not safe for human consumption as they lack information on the authenticity and that they cannot cure the pandemic. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health on Monday, the 27th of September 2021, will launch a heightened community COVID-19 vaccination campaign where more than 500 vaccination sites will be introduced to allow as many citizens in communities as possible to receive their vaccines. We have more in the following report.
While the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health, will Monday, 27 September 2021, be launching a heightened community COVID-19 vaccination campaign, where the ministry has planned to increase COVID-19 vaccination sites, including bringing them into the communities to allow for more citizens who have not yet been vaccinated to receive their vaccines. Some Lusaka residents still believe COVID-19 vaccines are not safe for use on humans and still insist that they will not be vaccinated. Joseph Lubasi, a Lusaka resident, is of a view that COVID-19 is a fulfillment of scripture, which states that in the last days there will be diseases that will not be healed. He and many others believe COVID-19 can only be healed by God and says he would rather die from the pandemic than be vaccinated.
Yes, according to my own understanding, this time around the devil has got some more powers and the devil is ruling at the moment. So basically, as for me, I don't feel like, taking that vaccine as for now, and I am not ready for that. Yes, because I believe in what the Bible says, in what the scripture says. If you read Revelation, although I've forgotten the verse, but if you read there, what is there, it's about the mark of the beast. So I'm sure now this is the era, this is the period that we are in at the moment. So personally, yeah, I can encourage others to do that, but as for me, I'm not ready for that. I'm going to wait for my Lord. If it means to die from COVID-19, then I'm ready to die for COVID-19.
Because I am already Isa. Yari mbafena mbible fona mona pantu ngana tonton kanyama rere Isa kufuma kunu mo kushatkana pano tuli marere ayengi ero iringi tatatwikire bafyo kupepa tapali foni ngashita olo nshi nabaya ndasa ile nyereti shi chitekele muri lesa tapalifinga ngafa so chona chetekla fene mwine kwishwa vyogobati leso mwine euka stashani euka la turuirako.
For others, COVID-19 vaccines are not important, hence the reason they see no point in being vaccinated.
Not vaccinated, and reason being is that there are so many rumors going about it, and there's not much information about it. And so I was like, no, I can't vaccinate myself. Why? In case there is anything. People say there are side effects. Some people are dying after the vaccine. So all those things, I just say no. I'd rather just wear a face mask.
Akaire inshallah ala problem kwa COVID-19 so shingeshiba bwino chale ngokupunda ati kuti fyaba muri o style. Alizo ni madam yakabati inshallah alapo. So chingafika chakubati at least ukuchitako dikava kuri bali abantu abakobati abashilalo alapo. Kubafuirishako efibaringilo kuichitakeya ukana sangwa muri obulwele bwa COVID-19.
But for Elliot Jerry, he feels vaccines are very important and says if given a chance, he will go and get vaccinated.
Is coming from very far from Zambia, and for our government to acquire medicine from wherever it is coming from, there's a reason. And my message to I'm urging our government to sensitize more to the people of Zambia the importance of vaccinations. Like me, I'm very mirroring, and any day from now, I'm planning to go there and being vaccinated. You see, recently, we saw how many people died. Our mortuary was full to the capacity. People, they were dying like a cockroach in the house. So why should we fear going there to be vaccinated?
We literally wanted to protect our loved ones and ourselves, yeah? Because you know it's a very deadly disease. COVID-19 is real, it's real, yeah. And make sure you get a jab.
With all the information on the dangers of COVID-19 and how it can be prevented, some citizens still doubt the authenticity of the vaccines, and one wonders if the Ministry of Health, the media, CSOs, and other stakeholders have done enough to sensitize and convince citizens to get vaccinated. The response calls for more stakeholders such as the church to join the fight against COVID-19. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Outgoing Zambia National Women's Lobby Board Chairperson Beauty Katebe has noted with concern the decrease in the number of women taking part in decision-making positions, especially at political level. In an interview with Camnet TV on the sidelines of the just-ended Women's Lobby General Assembly, Ms. Katebe explains that the number of female political leaders was already below par and now worsened, a situation she says needs to be looked at. Meanwhile, new board chairperson Daisy Ngambi has pledged to work tirelessly in ensuring the women affairs are represented and that more women are empowered to defend and champion their cause. We have more in this report.
The dwindling numbers of women participating in governance issues has continued to be top of the challenges in attaining most developmental agendas, while government under the previous regime and the current United Party for National Development, women have seen a rare breakthrough through the appointment of female Republican vice presidents. However, the case still remains a matter of concern by many stakeholders. The Zambia National Women's Lobby outgoing board chairperson Beauty Katebe says attaining gender equality is key to achieving many developmental aspirations.
Now, together with us who are out there, should help in pushing government to quickly get into reforming the constitution. No matter how hard we push, how hard we work, if the constitutional reforms are not done to look at certain clauses that will make it possible for the women to get into leadership spaces, we will push until we push no more. We might not get what we want to get. Of course, don't forget that we live in a patriarchal kind of system. So whatever it is that we do, without the support of the laws, without the support of the constitutional reforms, and embedding in it some clauses that will require that women take up their seats in leadership positions, it might be a fight in futility. So one will request that the new board, together with us that are out there, continue pushing the government and ensuring that government adheres to our push our request and that we get to reform the constitution and debate into it that which will support the leadership of women.
And incoming board chairperson Daisy Ngambi says the gender agenda will continue to be pushed as she attains office.
Will save the organization to the best of my ability. I would also like to thank the outgoing board and tell them that, in fact, for me, for the next 1 month, beauty must be in my office all the time so that she teaches me what has been going on the last 6 years. I'm very happy that we have new people on the board. I pledge that one of the things that I work towards is to ensure that most of our members are trained as leaders so that they can start taking over the reins and there's no stop. I also know that we need a lot of funding for a lot of projects in the various provinces. At one time, I remember all the provinces had plots. I don't know what has happened to them, but I promise to help you do something with your plots because visibility is very, very important.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, former Minister of Gender under the Patriotic Front PF government, Elizabeth Perry, says the country is on a backward trajectory in achieving gender equality, as can be witnessed from the decrease in the number of female members of parliament from 27 in the previous government to 20 after the 12th August 2021 general elections. Speaking to Camnet News, Ms. Perry has called on women organizations to be supportive of women aspiring for political office so as to make progress towards achieving gender equality. She states that offering lip service alone is not enough, as the status of things in Zambia show that gender equality may not be achieved soon if fought for casually.
In Zambia, we have women movement organization. We have NGOCC, we have women's lobby, and it's very unfortunate that they're silent on this. And during the run-up of this, last elections, during the campaigns, we never saw these women organizations supporting women. I was a candidate. I never saw them in my constituency. I don't know somewhere else, but in my constituency, I never saw them. And for the women organization to be talking about growing numbers in parliament, in the local government, when the women were not adequately supported. If there was no money, at least they would have been visiting, especially us who were in Lusaka, just to come and give us a moral boost by coming just to be with me in one of the small meetings that we are doing, even the door-to-door campaign. I see this woman from Women's Lobby or NGOCC being with me without giving me anything. It would have been a moral booster. But here we are, women movement organization are giving lip service. They are not supporting us in the way they are supposed to support us.
Local Government and Rural Development Minister Garin Kombo has revealed that President Hakainde Hichilema has revoked the appointment of Beatrice YEVUKA as acting chairperson for the Local Government Service Commission. Addressing the media Sunday in Southern Province, Mr. Kombo explains that as minister in charge of local government, he has no powers to appoint or revoke such an appointment as alleged by some sections of society. The minister has further explained that according to the law, Ms. YEVUKA automatically assumed the role of acting chairperson in line with provisions of the Local Government Act following the vacancy. Ms. YEVUKA's appointment has been revoked barely 2 days after her appointment.
And I want to be slow and emphasize. Part 3 directs that where there is a vacancy in the office of the chairman of the commission, the vice chairman of the commission assumes the position of chairmanship in the acting position until the president appoints another chairman. So I must explain here that cabinet office, we're guided by this particular part of the Act that where the vacancy occurred in terms of the removal of Mr. Mzonda as chairman of the commission, the vice, it is very prescriptive. The vice then acts as the chairman, and this has been the actual case in terms of the appointment of Madam BEATRICE YEVUKA. I wish to state that the act, prescriptive as it is, I have had the opportunity to confer with His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, in terms of the appointment of Madam BEATRICE YEVUKA to act as chairman of the Local Government Service Commission. I wish to inform the nation that the President has with immediate effect revoked this appointment, which is by the dictate of the Act, because it was never my appointment, although I've taken the load of the blame. After conferring with the President,
the United Party for National Development, UPND, has called for the arrest of Patriotic Front Vice President Given Lubinda if he fails to provide evidence that Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, while in the United States of America, said he will legalize gay rights in Zambia. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka Sunday afternoon, UPND Lusaka Province Chairperson Obvious Moliteta says police should task Mr. Lubinda to provide evidence showing President Hichilema uttering sentiments that gay rights will be legal in Zambia, failure to which he should be arrested. Mr. Moliteta says the freedom of expression which President Hakainde Hichilema has given the Zambian people should not be taken for granted, adding that if the police fail to arrest Mr. Lubinda, citizens' arrest will be enforced. And the UPND provincial chairperson has called on the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Zambia Police to investigate violence incidences that have occurred in the past, some of which led to the death of party members. We have more in this report.
While Patriotic Front Vice President Given Lubinda has been going around the country telling people that Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, while in the United States of America has promised to legalize gay rights in exchange for resources, United Party for National Development UPND supporters are not happy with the remarks, saying they lack facts and that freedom of expression is now being abused. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka Sunday, UPND Lusaka Province Chairperson Obvious Moliteta has called for the arrest of Mr. Lubinda by the Zambian police if he fails to provide evidence where the president made such remarks.
When the president left to go to UN, he never talked. The gay rights were not part of the agenda. Yes. But where are you getting those that information? And when the police to call Given Lubinda so that he's able to show us the video where my president talked about the gay rights in America. And the police are not going to wait for someone to complain. And I know someone has already gone to complain against him. But I think it's very important for you to call Given Lubinda and Nakachinda to show us where the president has dark meetings talking about gay rights. Are you not tired?
Mr. Moliteta says if the Zambian police fail to arrest Mr. Lubinda, then citizen arrest will be instituted, adding that freedom of expression should not be taken for granted.
You know, the president says you have the right to speak, but I think don't abuse your freedom of speech. Yes. You should not abuse it. We are not docile. We are not docile. But we are just trying to give you time. Maybe you can reason. You are still in hangover of power, which you abused.
And Mr. Moliteta wants the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Zambian police to investigate who is behind the many violence instances that have taken place in the past, some which led to the death of party members in the likes of Mavenzi Chivulo, Lawrence Banda, Kaunda, and in Samansama, among others.
Environment to do your work. But now, there's a new Dawn government which has given you a leeway to look at the past. We want to know who killed Chivulo Mapens. We're asking the police to do something. We have James Kasongo. In Rwanda? Yes. In Rwanda. Names of the ministers were mentioned. But up to now, the former ministers, no one has been called for questioning. We want to know why he was killed. We want to know. Recently, Samansama and Kaunda, they were shot in cold blood. We want to know who instructed that police officer to kill Samansama and our colleague Kaunda.
And the UPND party also wants to see those who were behind the gassing and the burning of markets be brought to book in order to ensure that justice is served among many atrocities. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Opposition Republican Progressive Party RPP President Leslie Chikose has described as shocking the letter written by the Patriotic Front Party to the United States Embassy in Zambia denying allegations that the party's stay in office was marred with corruption, as stated by U.S. President Joe Biden during the 76th United Nations General Assembly recently. Addressing the media Sunday, Mr. Chikose alleges that the PF regime was filled with corrupt activities and which saw party cadres taking to social media displaying colossal sums of money, matters which need to be investigated. We have more in this report.
Recent statements by United States of America President Joe Biden at the 76th United Nations General Assembly saluting Zambian youths for voting out corruption by voting against the Patriotic Front PF government has raised different emotions on the Zambian political scene. PF Vice President Mr. Given Lubinda recently stated that the party has written to the United States Embassy in Zambia to express displeasure at the American president's statements. The Republican and Progressive Party RPP, which is also part of the United Party for National Development UPND Alliance, alleges that despite the PF government denying the allegations, reports of corruption were high during their regime. RPP President Mr. Leslie Chikose was addressing the media Sunday.
Are still denying that they were involved in corruption, even when there are all these cases, and they have gone to an extent of writing a letter to the United States Embassy. How many of us don't know that we had PF youths that were literally sleeping on money or under money, either on top of money or under money? How many of us don't know?
The party leader asked that in response to the zero tolerance to corruption policy announced by Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, the party will in a few days report PF Vice President Mr. Given Lubinda to investigative wings in the country for illegally allocating himself community land in Kawata constituency, which has refused to give back despite various warnings. Mr. Lubinda, in a recent phone interview with Camnet News, however, denied the allegations.
And because we gave Lubinda, today is the 7th day, 14 days, we gave him 7 days in which to hand over that property. Now we can conclude in its entirety that Given Lubinda act of having to lock and put that property in his name is a criminality. And we shall therefore be reporting this matter to the Anti-Corruption Commission. We are going to be reporting this matter to the police. We are going to report this matter to the drug and all other law enforcement agencies that can examine this matter on which angle they could take.
Meanwhile, the RPP has welcomed defectors from various political parties who have been encouraged to work for the good of the country. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A Lusaka-based clergy from the Victory Family Church, VFC, has called on opposition political parties in Zambia to conduct checks and balances to the government in a responsible manner and desist from spreading messages that are capable of dividing the nation. In an interview with Camnet News, VFC overseer Prophet David Lungu says sentiments being heard from Patriotic Front Vice President Mr. Given Lubinda and member of the Central Committee Mr. Rafo Nakachinda that government intends to introduce gay rights in the country are capable of creating animosity as Zambia is a Christian nation. He has wondered why these allegations have continued despite government explicitly putting on record that it will not embrace gay rights. We have more in the following report.
The debate surrounding gay rights has been a topic of interest in Zambia for many years. This is because gay rights go against the Christian values of the country, as proclaimed by Second Republican President Frederick Chiluba that Zambia is a Christian nation in 1991. Various political leaders who have aspired for presidential office have been accused by their political opponents of planning to introduce gay rights should they win, among them the new Republican President Hakainde Hichilema. Republican Vice President Ms. Mutalena Lumango, however, recently clarified government's stance on the matter in Parliament.
So is the AU. So, we are a Christian nation, and that remains on the books. If this government at any one time wants gay rights, you will be the first to know that we are a Christian nation.
Nevertheless, the former ruling Patriotic Front PF party has continued with the accusations. PF Vice President Mr. Given Lubinda was speaking in Eastern Province recently.
Leviticus 20 verse 13. Mulungu mwene wake analemba Leviticus 20 verse 13. Mukapeza mumona amena gona na muna mzake. Mwanga ngati ni mkazi uyo muntu nizamulanga. Ndiye muna mawa mulungu. Manje hii aende ukauza ma American. Hii se Muzambia tizavomera ma gay rights kuti mamuna zikwatana mumuna mzake. Mukazi akakwatana mukazi mzake. So muziwe kuti vameti napanga pa mu 12 August taziletea mavuto. Taziletea maloza muziki.
Victory Family Church overseer Prophet David Lungu has described such statements as divisive. Meanwhile, Mr. Moses Chinza, a member of the same church, has also spoken out on the issue.
I think on that one, this is where I need the serious submissions from the two senior members of the Central Committee of the Affirmation, the political party. I think at no time was it actually mentioned that he is actually in support of that. Because for the new then government to say that we are going to embrace the Christian values, gay rights are not constituents. They are not integral parts of Christian values. So I think that is just divisive. They have got nothing to offer to to those people out there. So for me, if they have got nothing to offer to the people, let them just accept that everything has got its time.
They have emphasized the need for the One Zambia, One Nation slogan to be upheld, calling on all well-meaning citizens to speak out against any divisive statements. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet TV main news and not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
This is Camnet News. We continue with the news. Republican President Hakainde Hichilema is Monday, 27th September 2021, scheduled to arrive back in the country after concluding his tour of duty in the United States of America. Special Assistant to the President for Press and Public Relations, Anthony Walia, has reported that the President is Sunday, 26 September 2021, scheduled to depart the United States of America for Lusaka, Zambia, where he is expected to arrive on Monday. Mr. Walia says the head of state and his entourage are Monday expected in the country at about 14:30 hours at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. He says while in the United States, the President attended the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York and held a series of high-level bilateral and multilateral meetings. The Choma Kalomo Commercial Farmers Bloc has come to the aid of rhinos in Livingstone's Mosi-Otunya National Park by donating 105 bales of hay worth more than 30,000 kwacha. And Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa says the provincial administration has engaged the police to find ways of curbing the increase in illegal commercial poaching in private game ranches. Speaking during the handover of the bales of hay, farmer Daniel Green said the donation is as a result of a passionate appeal from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife following the scarcity of grass in the Mosi-Otunya National Park, leaving the rhino population vulnerable. Mr. Green told Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa that his group felt duty-bound as not only cattle ranchers but wildlife ranchers as well to come to the rescue of the animals whose population risks depleting unless measures are put in place. Receiving the donation, Mr. Mwetwa said the Hakainde Hichilema administration has placed tourism as one of the pillars for job creation and was grateful to note that the farmers had come to the rescue of the animals which form part of that pillar.
To the Minister of the Southern Province, I'd like to hand over 105 bales for the game park in Livingstone from the Choma farmers. So Minister, these are the bales, and please, I hope the rhinos in Livingstone can live till the end of the year.
We want to say thank you to the farming community of Choma for responding timely to the distress call by Zawa about the precarious situation where rhinos and other grazing or browser animals have run out of grass. These are some of the effects of climate change, and so responding this timely as government, we say thank you to you, and going forward we want to request that we continue with this kind of gesture, and this does not only go to the commercial farmers here in Choma. This is Choma Kalomo farming block. All other well-wishers, we want as a provincial administration to call on them to respond to this kind of needs. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, amongst the economic pillars that he has highlighted that he intends to lean on for economic development and job creation is tourism.
Right. The Federation of Free Trade Unions in Zambia, FFTUZ, says there is need for the new government to find ways of reducing the numbers of skilled human resource who are leaving the country to seek greener pastures abroad if the country is to ever develop. According to latest data from the World Bank, African countries remain top among those that have continued losing skilled human resource personnel due to lack of employment and poor conditions of service, with Zambia losing about 3,000 skilled personnel per year. Speaking to Camnet News, FFTUZ President Mr. Chingatim Siska states that the country will never develop if it continues losing huge numbers of skilled human resource personnel who are a key factor in development.
Of course, we understand that this is a global village and everyone else would want to work elsewhere, which is okay. But again, as Zambians, for a long time, like the report that had come as regard to the skilled manpower that are leaving our country in numbers, I think that is a position that we feel as the government, the new government, should be able to look into and retain these people and also bring incentives that are going to make them stay in Zambia. You know, there is no way we should have experts working outside our country when we need these experts to work in our country. What incentive is the government expected to bring in? We need to provide a good number of incentives. We need to up in terms of the remuneration, what we are going to pay these people. Because obviously, for one to go out there to work as a diplomat or an expert, it means they are paid well, at the expense of the many Zambian, the resources, also the taxpayer money that they could have used. Because most of these people, our friends that are working outside, we are trained here in Zambia. They were user graduate. They are user graduate. They are coming from local universities, but doing their expertise elsewhere. So this trend can only be stopped when we pay them well. Let's invite them. Let's put in incentives that are going to encourage them to work in their own land. Zambia belongs to each one of us, and we want to appeal and put a demand on the new Dawn government that let's do it better this time so that we have a lot of professionals.
The Special Education Teachers Union of Zambia, SPETUZ, says it is not in support of the major motion that the union merges with other teacher unions to form a single unit. SPETUZ Executive President Frankson Musukwa says his union instead will continue to operate as a standalone movement due to the complexity of issues that for decades have remained unresolved and underrepresented by the existing 6 teacher unions in as far as issues of special education are concerned. Mr. Musukwa says the decision has been arrived at after the union made consultations with its members in all the 10 provinces of Zambia. He argues that when the 25% special education allowance was scraped off from the pay slips of specialized teachers some years back, none of the 6 existing teacher unions came to the defense of these teachers to date.
As a matter of policy issue, SPETUZ believes in consultative processes with its membership. Going on forward, our consultations with general members have revealed that SPETUZ stakeholders are not in support of the major motion that our union should also merge with other unions, but instead should continue to operate as a standalone movement due to the complexity of issues that for decades have remained unresolved and represented by the existing 6 teacher unions in as far as issues of special education are concerned. As a union, we are extremely opposed to the idea of merging. This was after immense and extensive engagement with our general membership far and wide. Among the pertinent issues which came out from the consultations with our general members were those.
This is Camnet TV News. We take another break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
At Savenda Express Printing, we have the capacity to deliver quality in all kinds of printing services timely. Our lines of production include screen printing, embroidery, lithography, and large format printing. We take pride in delivering quality work at very competitive rates with our in-house, highly experienced and qualified designers. With the ability to print full color and embossing prints, our state-of-the-art screen printing machines are able to print 1,000 pieces per hour. Our embroidery machines are able to print any logo with 1 or up to 12 colors all at once and has an output capacity of 100 pieces per hour. Savenda Express Printing also does large format printing for billboards, banners, vinyl, car stickers, posters, tire covers, cups, pens, bags, flasks, packaging boxes, and well, just anything that can need printing. For inquiries, give us a call on 0960 344 471.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money for MTN 096 296 5883, for Airtel 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325, Stanbic Bank, Kablonga branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via Wild Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Welcome back. In international news, 11 years of conflict in northern Nigeria has left hundreds of thousands of children traumatized. Doctors and many other caregivers are concerned about the long-term effects on young children and the impact on their communities as they grow up. In other news, the president of the Chadian transition, General Muhammad Idris Deby Itno, ended his first two-day visit to Brazzaville on Sunday. The Congolese president, Denis Sassou Nguesso, in his capacity as the current president of the Economic Community of Central African States, ECAS, called upon the various Chadian actors to participate in the future inclusive dialogue in this country. For more of international news, here's a roundup.
Born and raised in Boko Haram camps, these children are experiencing for the first time what it means to be a child. They are part of the 6,000 victims and family members of Boko Haram fighters who've surrendered to Nigerian security forces in the past few months. After a few weeks of psychological support, those helping them are surprised by the rapid transformation they see.
You see a lot of them coming into the safe space looking very distressed, looking angry. But after weeks of engagement, or because we engage them for 3 months, sometimes depending on how we see their vulnerability and all of that. So after the engagement, you see a lot of changes. You see them interacting better. You see them taking leadership roles. You see them doing so much better.
For these children born and raised in Boko Haram camps where toys are forbidden, this moment of fun is a welcome change.
Many children here in the Northeast, they were born into this conflict. They have never known a life that is outside of conflict. There are children born into displaced camps. And for them, this is normal. This is not normal.
Social workers warn that it's a difficult process. Some, they say, may never know the joy of childhood.
Only a small fraction of the over 5 million children affected by the Boko Haram conflict have received any form of psychological or social support. The rest are left to struggle on their own. Experts warn that unless these children receive the help they need now, the Northeast and indeed Nigeria could be facing a bigger crisis when these children grow up.
With nearly 1 million children out of school in Nigeria's northeast, most of them in Borno State, there are concerns they may be targeted for recruitment by armed groups.
If it's not dealt with, the impact will be very big, because these are children of 5, 15, 17 years, adolescents, and they need to go back to school. They need to integrate their bond with their family and friends, integrate them with other social activities.
Aid workers say time is running out for hundreds of thousands of children. And this, they say, could be the reality facing communities in Nigeria's northeast, where Boko Haram still continues to launch its attacks.
The former Ivorian First Lady Simone Bagbo attended a launch event of a political movement to support her, a step further towards creating her own political party for the 2025 presidential election. She emphasized her vision of a strong, sovereign, reconciled, modern and prosperous Cote d'Ivoire, hammering out the national motto, union, discipline and work. The first thing I invite you to do is to become zealous and dynamic actors of forgiveness and reconciliation. This pact was called My Capable Husband, but today we women say that the husbands must be capable, but he is not the only one who must be capable. The wife must also be very capable of doing the same things. In June, Laurent Gbagbo returned to Abidjan on the arms of another woman, Nadi Bamba, his partner since the early 2000s, and filed for divorce from Simone Gbagbo. He also intends to launch a new party in October. But in the hearts of his supporters, it is difficult to separate the couples politically. She knows politics, she is trained, she knows politics well, so if she could one day be the president of Ivory Coast, there is no problem. This is the first time to support the person. She has done everything for us. She has lived through difficult times for Ivory Coast. For sure, she will win 100%. The women are behind her. All women. All ethnic groups are behind Simone Gbagbo. The International Criminal Court in July said it had dropped an arrest warrant for Ivory Coast former First Lady Simone Gbagbo. She had also received an amnesty from President Ouattara after an Ivorian court sentenced her to 20 years in prison in 2015 for undermining state security. The president of the Chadian transition, General Mahamat Idriss Déby Itno, ended his 2-day visit to Brazzaville on Sunday. The visit was marked by the call of Denis Sassou Nguesso in his capacity as current president of the Economic Community of Central African States, also known as ECAS, to Chadian actors to participate in the future inclusive dialogue in this country. His Excellency Denis Sassou Nguesso reiterated to his interlocutor the support of ECAS, the Economic Community of Central African States, for the transition in Chad. He expressed his congratulations to His Excellency Mr. Mahamat Idriss Déby Itno for the progress already made by the transition authorities with a view to the upcoming organizing of an inclusive and peaceful dialogue. The new strongman of Chad had come to seek support of ECAS to help in a smooth transition in his country. ECAS also welcomed the intentions of the Chadian transition authorities to accept to involve the various armed groups in the national reconciliation process.
It's now time for sports news. In sports news, Ethiopia's Gaye Adola and Jitotim Gebrselassie won the men's and women's Berlin Marathon on Sunday, but compatriot Kenenisa Bekele, a two-time former winner, had to settle for third in the men's race as he failed in his bid to break the world record.
Ethiopia's Gaye Adola and Jitotim Gebrselassie won the men's and women's Berlin Marathons on Sunday, but compatriot Kenenisa Bekele, a two-time former winner, had to settle for third in the men's race as he failed in his bid to break the world record. Adola won the men's race in an official time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, 45 seconds, well short of Eliud Kipchoge's world record of 2 hours, 1 minute, 39 seconds, set in German capital 3 years ago, with second place Bethel Yegon of Kenya, 29 seconds behind. Bekele, who is the 2016 and 2019 winner in Berlin, had been attempting to break his personal best when he came within 2 agonizing seconds of Kipchoge's record 2 years ago.
To end Camnet TV main news, we take a look at the headlines once again. UPND calls for the arrest of the PF Vice President. President HH disappoints Civil Service Commission acting chairperson Beatrice YEVUKA. The women's movement call for the constitutional refinement in favor of the gender agenda. And in international news, Nigeria children face mental health crisis. In sports news, Ethiopians shine at Berlin Marathon as Bekele falls short of target. The Camnet World Verse of the day is coming from the book of Romans 10, verse 9 to 10, and it reads, "If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. One believes with the heart, resulting in righteousness, and one confesses with the mouth, resulting in salvation." Thanks for watching Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.